What's up, everybody? All right, I'm trying to get this set up here. Let's get to the comments, see if anybody comes in. At this point, if anybody comes in and wants to come up, I gotta, invite, copy, and post. Good evening, Barbara. Thanks for coming in, saying hi. Trying to get all this set up. There we go. All right, so it's pinned. I gotta be able to hear everything here. Let's see here. There we go. All right, got a little background music going. That way I'm not just sitting up here alone. And whoever's in there, say hello. I see 5 people, I think. Let me see here. Barbara's the only one that's identified. Anybody that wants to come up, click at the link. And I don't know if it's creating feedback or not. I'm going to try to get this on my AirPods so I don't have feedback. And Bluetooth. How you doing, Irish Andrew? It's actually been picking up. I've seen Grubhub really pick up a lot over the last week in my area. DoorDash has been about the same. Spark, I had a weird thing happen with Spark today. Spark had been doing real good for me, and then something weird happened. I don't know if you do Spark or anybody else does Spark that's in the chat, but I got a $28 4-mile pickup, one drop off. I accepted it, went to the store, and they just started the new tracker feature where it'll track the status of the app. And I'm sitting there and it says it's being packed. And then all of a sudden, I'm sitting there, my phone just freezes up. I had to reset the phone, go in and out of the app, and lo and behold, the order goes away. And I'm sitting there trying to figure out where it went, and then I got a notification that I got paid show up pay. So it somehow canceled out the order. And then after that, when I accepted that order, there was like 19 orders in queue. After that, I never got another order until about 8 o'clock tonight, after I was already pretty much done with working. And probably about 35, 40 minutes before I was standing in there waiting to pick up a DoorDash order, I thought, you know what, I need this. I'm going to say something to support. And I reported it. And put in a report, gave screenshots I had of the order. And I did eventually start getting a couple of orders, and I turned the app off because I was pretty much done. But I found it very weird that I lost that order out of nowhere. Got paid $2. I hadn't put too much time in on the order, but I probably put about 10 minutes in on the order from driving to the store, sitting there waiting a little bit. But I couldn't figure out what happened. I didn't know if there was some sort of a glitch or something. But yeah, I think Barbara, I think you're correct. Normally, with school being back in session, a couple things happen there. A lot of teachers do these gig apps, so they're out of the market as far as picking up orders. So it gets busy for that reason. And then two, yes, because kids are back in school, you've got sports back going on. So you've got people that like the convenience of saying, hey, you know what? I would like to get my food brought to my house after practice tonight or whatever. And we're going to see a pickup of that. And then grocery pickup is where it really gets big, especially as people that school teachers and stuff are back in school. So they were the ones out there competing, taking some of the orders more now. So there's going to be a big uptick in that area as well. So this is the time it'll start clicking in where probably October through December is going to be huge. This is when you make up what you lost the previous part of the year. All right, let's see if my AirPods will click in. There. All right, cool. So yeah, I will tell you this, that Andrew, that I think the offers are better on Spark than they are on Uber Eats. So, I think by the time they make it, because Roadie also does Walmart orders too, and I've noticed that the base pay and everything is a lot lower over on Roadie. I have never done an Uber Eats. I've seen them come through, but they've been terrible. And I'm like, I wouldn't touch an order like that, especially some of them are like 2 and 3 orders, and they're horrible in terms of looking at miles to money, time in on the order, all that stuff. But yeah, it would be nice to, like, if Uber would give you the ability to filter that out now, or be able to filter orders like that, where, because they come up as package, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, see, that's the thing. On Spark, a lot of times, I mean, well, not a lot of times, most of the time, I don't ever see. I'll see a few orders that will come in at like $7, but if it's multiple stops, they're always going to be $12, $13, $14. That's the nice part about Spark, for me at least, is, especially now that they've added in on the Spark app, they show you the estimated minutes for drive time. And then they now give you a tracker where you can, once you accept the order, it lets you know what stage the order is at. Is it being shopped in the store? It's being packed up and ready to go. And then eventually it'll say it's ready for you to load. And that makes it really nice, because if you're using the Spark app, you can take some shorter run, like Uber Eats, Grubhub, DoorDash orders. Like my Walmart that I like to work has, like, it's got a Taco Bell, McDonald's, a Sheetz, Popeyes, Burger King, and Wendy's all right there. So it's real easy to grab smaller orders and move them all around if they come available. And I can watch the tracker. And then once it says it's ready, boom, head right over, get a parking spot. So instead of sitting there waiting in the parking lot, not knowing where it's at, just knowing, hey, I just picked this up and I have no idea what stage it's in. Now with them adding the tracker, that really helps, and lets you kind of monetize that time while you're waiting. So it can really make a big difference in terms of earnings. All right, let's see here. I'm trying to get this live out. Now, what is this thing here? Connection is unstable. If you're on Wi-Fi, try. Yeah, I'm on Wi-Fi. What is going on? Is everything coming through good? If anybody's in there watching still, it says I got 5 people in. Have you noticed the DoorDash pay going down quite a bit this year? It's now $2 for most single orders, and I've had stacks as low as $2.25. Not kidding. In my area, the areas I've worked have all been $2.25 for the last 2 years. I have not seen the drop yet to 2, knock on wood. But I anticipate it's coming. You know, as I tell everybody, the base pay, to me, when I'm out looking for an order, I am looking for the payout that's on the screen, and I am not going to worry about the base pay. I mean, the base pay needs to be a consideration when we're having conversations about what needs to be done to help the industry be fairer to drivers. But when we're out driving right now, it can't be something that we're worried about. Because we have to worry about the order in front of us. So to me, the base pay is never an issue, because for me, I'm going to be looking to say, is the order that's on my screen valuable enough? So that's never going to change. So if they send me an order that's, $3.25 going 10 miles, that's never going to get accepted by me. So whether that base pay in there is $1 or if it's $2.25, they're going to eventually get it up to the level that I need in order to accept the order. So that's why the base pay game is kind of is probably, is more of a mirage than anything. And it's, and if somebody's accepting every order, that's the issue. All right, great, Barbara. Thank you for letting me know that. Yeah, it just says up at the top, it's only, I've got it looks like a little Wi-Fi thing that says connection is unstable. If you're on Wi-Fi, try plugging it into your router or moving closer to it, which I'm assuming everything's good with it. I don't know why it's saying that, or if everybody's in. So we should be worried about probably bringing a class action against them stealing from us. And well, yeah, that's the issue that we have. See, the main issue that is present that we can come at DoorDash from is from the perspective of every state has a due process act in their constitution, and it can be attacked from a procedural due process standpoint. In other words, whenever we are entering into a contractual relationship with another party, and we need to be in, if it's labor related, in other words, if it's a business that's coming to us, we should be able to, every driver that's in a relationship with DoorDash should be able to define how their base pay is calculated. The fact that we can't, in other words, one of the reasons why DoorDash drives the drivers apart and not together is because they don't want the drivers to be able to get together to understand, hey, let's have a conversation. Do you understand how you're paid? What goes into your pay? How is the pay structured? And when we get together, we start talking about how, if you read DoorDash's pay, they would say, well, if you're getting a longer route, you're supposed to get more money. Well, I get many routes that are plus 10 miles, and the base pay turns out to be $2.25, but the tip is $20. Well, there has to be an explanation as to why that is, and there should be a consistent payout when it comes to those situations. And since there isn't, DoorDash would be in violation of the procedural due process rights of its workers. That is the area, and that's the place that it's got to be attacked from, which is why I said we have to attack the contractual relationship that DoorDash holds themselves out to be. Because since we are independent contractors, it is DoorDash's responsibility that they are supposed to have a formula that they can explain as to how we're getting paid, that I understand. Now, if the lack of ability for me to understand, in other words, if I can't understand my pay structure and they gain from that, or they cause me to be injured, and the injury would come in me losing money, then I now have a claim. I have a claim against DoorDash, and that's the situation. But the first thing that's got to happen is you got to get drivers together talking and you've got to get drivers to come together to figure out, okay, in an area, not, again, this is a situation that have to be attacked on a by state basis. And then you've got the issue of the fact that that the first thing you've got to go after an attack is the fact that we all sign an arbitration agreement. Now that can get attacked by the way they have us sign it, because when they present these the renewal of terms of service, they normally do it in a way, again, that violates our ability to be able to review the contract and understand what we're seeing and know what's in there, because they do it right before we're about to go on live and work. Hold on here. What's going on, Sam Lee? How you doing, man?
Yeah, you know what's up with me. I'm always working,
You working? How much you made so far tonight?
I think I'm at like 240 or something. Yeah.
Nice. All on DoorDash, of course, right?
Nah, I took a couple roadies and shit.
Oh, did you? Okay. Who do you do? Is it Walmart for roadies, or who do you do? Who
oh, hell no. Nah. Dude, that's one thing I won't do. No Walmart roadies.
No Walmart. Okay. Irish says, that's why I always try to pay my delivery driver cash tip. Just some things I learned from my waitress days. Yep. Yeah, Walmart. Well, I'll tell you what, during the holiday season, though, man, I'll tell you what, pay attention to it, because sometimes what I found on there is they do Roadie does a weird thing where it went away in my area after the holidays, but there were situations where there was like $25 tips on there, and on Spark side you could sometimes lose them, but they guaranteed the tip, so the customer could not change it after the fact. And I got some like $40 and $50 payouts last Christmas doing roadie. But those, I've only done like 5 roadies, because most of the time it's all either Walmart or Home Depot in my area. But the 4 of the 5, I've done 1 Home Depot and I did 4 Walmarts, but they were all huge payouts, and they were like 1 mile from the Walmart. I mean, it was crazy. It was all done last holiday season, but Walmart,
some of the Home Depot, like they're like 1 or 2 items, like those are good, but some of them is like 5, 6 items and they haven't picked it yet. They take half an hour to pick it yet.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the roadies I've been taking are like 1 or 2 items, and they're done, and like they're done picking it pretty fast. Like most of the time I go pick it up and it's already ready. So yeah.
Yeah, the only the Home Depot I did for roadie, it was the weed whacker. It was a weed whacker. I guess the I'm trying to think what it's called, but it goes in the weed whacker. So it was just a box, and I think it was like $15. I think I got paid like $5 base pay and $10 tip, and it was easy, and they had it all ready for me. But that's the only one I've ever done. My big issue with roadie for me too seems to be like they don't always accept you. I heard that it's probably because I haven't done a lot of them, but like I've put in for some of them, and then sometimes they're tell me that the store didn't accept me or whatever. Somebody else got the order.
Yeah, the only. Wait, hold on. Yeah, Home Depot orders, there's never no tips. Some of the medications, some of the smaller stores, they might have like some tips and stuff.
Some tips on.
Yeah, like script drops, or like some of the smaller places, like maybe some of like the flower shops and stuff might have tips, but yeah.
There was one that
is not a tip. Yeah.
Well, there was one that came through. I tried to apply, like I put in for it. It was like $45, and it was like an electronics store or something that was sending it said it was just fitting. It would fit in like a jewelry box. Was the size it said. I didn't get it. Somebody else got it, but I thought $45. It was going like 5 miles, and it said it was going to take like 20 minutes to do. And I'm like, what the hell? I don't know what it was, but I put in for it, and then it said another driver got it.
Roadie will only give those orders to like the top drivers, like the ones that's been taking orders all day.
Gotcha. Yeah, see, I've only done, like I said, I've only done 5. I've got 5 stars on my ratings out of the 5 I've done. So I'm like, but I've only done 5 my entire time. I've been active on roadie like 2.5 years. It's just I never cease. Like a lot of the orders for roadie for me are like down in the city. That is like probably an hour and a half away, and I'm like, I'm not going down there. And then when one does pop up,
kind of a good app where it's like if you're trying to travel to somewhere, you're like, man, I'm tired of working here. Let me take some roadies going that way. So,
right.
like, you could be like 10, 20 miles away from a pickup location, and roadie will still accept you. Yeah, sometimes sometimes it's not good miles to money, but sometimes they're like, man, fuck working here all the time. I'm trying to work over there, you know?
Well, yeah, and that's when like I will do that, especially if I'm commuting or whatever. It covers my commute, because if you're gonna it's better sometimes to get 80 cents a mile or 70 cents a mile than 0 cents a mile if you're going to be driving it already. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Sometimes it don't even need to be 70 cents a mile. It could be damn near. You could be losing money on the order, but it's better than just driving the miles for no reason.
Yep. Morning, y'all, or morning, y'all sleep this night. What's up, Ruby Q? Yeah, I agree with you on that. I mean, if you're doing the commute deal, absolutely. It's better. Anything's better than 0 at that point. I think that's also the premise of DoorDash's Dash Along the Way, because I always which those are the times I will take the orders that I wouldn't take if I was actively working as a. I'm a little more aggressive at that time, just because to me it's like, well, if I can get a little bit of money going and right now on my way into a place that I'm going, that's a plus. That's a little less than I got to earn later on. But so what area are you working tonight, Sam?
Oh, I'm in Redlands tonight. I'm not sure if you know, Southern California.
Yeah, Southern Cal. Yep. Now, are you down in LA or like near the LA area? Or my sister lives out in LA. She lives in Studio City.
Oh yeah, I'm like 60 miles east of LA, so not really LA, but still Southern California.
Gotcha. Yeah, she lives in Studio City, and
that's like 20 miles north of LA or something.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, because she said it's right at the mouth of Laurel Canyon. Like it's right at the entrance to Laurel Canyon area. And she said I haven't been out. She just moved there like 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. I haven't been out there, gosh, to see her in a long time. She was living
those are some rich areas out there.
Yeah, she does a good. She's a veterinarian oncologist. So she's certified to run a certain machine that only like 10 people in the country can run. So she basically, one of the reasons why she's out there at the hospital she's out there is because people out there obviously have the money to pay for cancer treatments for their dogs or their pets. So she's a veterinarian to the stars, so to speak. So she does pretty good for herself.
Yeah, I think all the rich people live in the rich areas, and all us gig drivers, we all live in. Because I live in Moreno Valley. There's like 4 or 5 of us in this community. We all live in Moreno Valley. I guess we're all kind of like the lower human beings. We all live in this lower income city. So
yeah. Well, I guess is it a lower cost of living out where you're at in terms of like rent and everything? Because I know like when she was out there, she had moved away from that area. She moved to San Jose for a while, and she'd lived in LA for a little while, but previous to going to San Jose, but she was renting then. Now she bought a house this time around. But when she was renting, the rent was ridiculous. It was like $4,000 or $5,000 just for an apartment out there
in San Jose, man.
No,
Yeah,
LA. In LA. No. In San Jose, it was better. That's why they went to
San Jose. Is more expensive than LA, man.
Is it? Oh. Well, where she was living, because she said that they went out there.
San Jose, that's Silicon Valley right there. If you want to look at the suburbs of San Jose, dude, it's way more expensive than like LA. Like you look at
is it really?
Some of the surrounding suburbs, like Palo Alto and like Cupertino and stuff, and like Los Altos, all that. Yeah, that's way, because that's Silicon Valley right there. You know, all the top executives and people that inherit all that.
Well, I remember when we went out, we flew into San Francisco to and then rented a car and drove over to where she was living. And I remember driving past and seeing all the Google and all the headquarters and stuff as we were driving through the community. But they were renting a house. I mean, they were paying high rent. I mean, I think it was $8,000 or $9,000 a month for the rent for the house. But I didn't think it was, given that it was a house.
Yeah, that shit ain't worth it to just rent it by yourself. You better be splitting with like 5 or 6 people. That sounds like a sorority house or something, like, you know, like a whole house and then a bunch of people living in it together.
Well, it
sounds like a college style.
No. This was her and her husband, and at that time they ended up they had one child already, and then they had their second child in that house. But this house was really nice. It had like heated floors. It had a nice. I mean, it was, in my opinion, for $8,000 or $9,000, it was definitely not worth that. But it was in a nice community. You could walk down to the downtown where they had all these shops and food places. They were in a real nice spot. But like I said, I remember when she was out there, she had moved out there because they recruited her to come out and gave her a lot of money to come out there. And then her husband got a job back in LA. He runs a fitness company. What the hell is it called? Barney's Fitness, I think. I don't know if you're familiar with that. But they got her to come, then he got recruited over there, and then she went back to LA with the same company, and now she's working for a new company that recruited her. But I had thought she had said that it was cheaper to live out there in terms of renting a house and stuff, but I don't know. I know where they're living now is pretty upscale, from what I understand.
Yeah, anywhere you go, it could be expensive and cheap, but it's all a personal choice of where. Me personally, it don't matter how rich I become, I still want to have a cheap cost of living,
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, you only can live in so many rooms, and there's a point to me where it gets wasteful. Are you on an order now?
What was that? Let me close the windows. Sometimes I open the windows to just like clear the air. But
oh yeah, no problem, man.
Yeah, the order only going like 3 miles. I'm still in that.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I was gonna say, who'd you pick up from?
Oh, it was McDonald's. Yeah.
McDonald's, gotcha.
Yeah, Redlands, it got some nice spots. Like the more expensive spots are like off into the back streets of the city, where all the nice houses are, far away from the city center. Like almost everywhere you go, there's like $1 million homes in almost every single city, even in the worst cities in America. Like off into like the off into the side of the city, away from the city centers, there's still $1 million homes.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, like even
Where
in San Bernardino and all this shit. Like
now?
even in the worst cities, Oakland.
Now, do you believe the $1 million homes tip better or tip worse? Or
It's about average. I've delivered to like a $10 million house. It was like a $4 for 2 mile order. And I looked up the house on Google, and I think this was like in Laguna Beach or something like that. Yeah, Laguna Beach or Dana Point. It was up in like Orange County. But yeah, it was like a $10 million home. The guy ordered I forgot, was it like some Mexican salad or burrito bowl, something like that. Man.
wow. And you only did it was
Yeah,
$4
I'm not the type of people. I'm not the type of person to call these people like clown, miserable. I'm be like, yeah, whatever. It was an opportunity to make money, and that's that. You know, I'm not here to call people miserable clowns or whatever. You know.
Well, yeah, I mean, my thing is once you take the order, like if you decide to do it and you decided it's valuable to you for your personal reason, and at that particular point, it is what it like. You don't go complain to the customer and say, "Oh, you didn't tip me enough or pay me enough." I mean, once you've accepted it, you've accepted it. You have the opportunity to speak out against it by declining it, and if you choose to not decline it, then that's it. There is nothing else to say about it. You go out, you fulfill the order. That's why for me, like, you know, I make my decision when I'm looking at the app or the offer that comes to my screen. And if I decide to do it, they're going to get treated. They're going to get treated whether they're, if I accept a $3 order, they're going to get treated the same way as I would treat a $30 order. Because once they're accepted, they're my customer, you know, and I made the decision to do business with them. So I'm going to do business with them. Now, again, it's on me to not do business with that customer, you know, to not do business at that amount if that's not enough for me to see it as a valuable order. So yeah, I'm with you on that. I mean, I don't really I think that's silly because the other thing, Sam Lee, too, is this: the customer is still paying a lot of money, even if they're not tipping. And it's more of an app problem that the app hasn't gone back and said, they're keeping more, you know, too much of our money if the order isn't profitable enough, and it's up to us to say, no, we need you to share a little bit more of the money with us. And if we don't hold the app accountable and we decide to work for whatever amount is shown to us, that's on us. And you know, for accepting that. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I heard somebody talk about it tonight. They were like, oh yeah, all these services, like all these like gig services like Uber and DoorDash it's a luxury service. No, that it is not that, dude. Because if you're only targeting like rich people, dude, there's a whole big market that you're cutting yourself off of and not making money off that. Like DoorDash is so big, Uber is so big for a reason, because they're like servicing all types of people, not just rich people. So whoever said that it's just a luxury service for rich people, they are wrong, man, because that's not how you make money. You make money by servicing all types of people, from lower class to upper middle class, all that. You make money from everybody, not just one certain type of people.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. Like the good part about it, though, Sam, is like that person can have that viewpoint, right? And if they're not now, you know, if they're not making enough money and having that viewpoint, then that's on them to change it. But like what you're saying makes sense to a degree, because what you're saying is basically, hey, uh, every offer that comes to your phone is an opportunity to make money, and at some point, at one point, yes, before you had the technology that we have to make it more affordable for everyone to participate in this type of commerce, it was a luxury service, but now it has become a service that's on demand. That is no longer. It is, it's a luxury, yes, that we have someone delivering to you, but the technology has now allowed it to be repriced so that it is now reachable to other people. And that's the whole concept of stacking orders together and stuff like that. That you're correct in an instance that if we demand that every order be $30 a piece, we will price ourselves out of having a market that's available to allow more people to work in it. But if we accept stacks, say a stack of 2 orders, like the other night with DoorDash, right? I got I think what did it start out? I got a $7 1 mile order, 2 mile order, right? Then they added a $6.75 order that turned into a $7.25 payout. But I didn't know that at the time. But they added that, and that was for 3 extra miles. Then I'm driving to the first drop off, and they add a $6 Walmart order for another 2 miles. So, all of those, of course, obviously were decent money, miles to money ratio. But when you add it all up, we took 3 small orders. The base pay on all of them was like $2. But when you add them all up, I ended up making, in the end, the final payout was $22.75, driving like 7 miles. But when you add them all up, right, by my willingness to stack those 3 orders together, that was as big and as good as a large order program $22 payout. I mean, and I did 3 orders. And those people, we would say, well, they should pay more than what they paid. Well, yeah, if we did, those people probably wouldn't have ordered. But by DoorDash using its technology to map together those 3 orders together, they made it so that it became a very profitable order for me to take that. And it didn't even take me an hour to complete all 3 of them. So, I think it's all on how you look at it, because if we price this like a luxury service, then we're going to have less people using it, and therefore we are going to have less drivers will be able to make money off of it. So, I hear what you're saying. What's up, Glitch Dash? Welcome, man.
Yeah, even like what's it called? Even like luxury brands like let's say Louis Vuitton or something. It's like a regular person can kind of afford it, like $1,000, $2,000 or something. Right. It's not like it's $100,000 and only like the top 1% can afford it. Like
right.
It's affordable by probably like 75% of people. Like probably 75% of people in the world have a couple $1,000 to spend. So that's how they target people. And that's how they make their money.
Right, and it's affordable to the people that find value in buying a Louis Vuitton, whatever it is, for $1,000. And there's going to be a lot of people that are going to say, well, that doesn't represent a value for me to spend that much money on that handbag or that suitcase. But for some people, they're like, hey, you know what? This represents value to me. Again, it's all a matter of what you want or what you see as valuable. So that's why I say, to me, it's not a matter so much as no tip, no trip. It's no value, no trip. So if you think it's valuable, you accept the order. If you don't think it's valuable, don't accept the order. The tip, the base pay, all of it kind of comes together. The miles, the area of drop off, like I said, like you and I were talking about. If you were just solely basing things on a miles to money, right? Well, if we were driving to a new place or a new zone, and we were just saying, well, this order comes in, that's, maybe $6.25 for 11 miles. But you're heading in that zone, you're heading towards that zone, and you can grab that order and it's going to take you directly on there. It's not going to take you out of the way, and it's going to leave you off right in the middle of the next zone you're in. or right outside of it. Well, normally we would say, well, no, if I'm in a hot zone or I'm in working a regular area, I'm not going to waste my time working that, or especially if it takes me out of my zone. But in this case, the miles, the money sucks, but it sure is better than zero. Because if I decline it, chances are I may not get another offer. It's not like you're going to be able to shop really good offers. So in that case, there's a value statement to say that order is valuable for me right now. And maybe that $625, there is no tip on it, but it really doesn't matter because the value is in the fact that I'm getting paid for the miles I'm about to drive that I wouldn't have been paid for. And yes, there's some risks involved, but if you're taking steps to ensure that you're, capturing video for every delivery, you've got a dash cam, you're taking pictures with GPS attached to it, you're sending messages, you can mitigate most, if not all, of those issues that come along with taking the riskier orders. And I know this because, in June, I went and was taking almost every single order. I was working the nights, and I had a couple. I had a contract violation come through saying I didn't deliver the order. But guess what? I had like 3 different angles of the delivery. Sent it in the DoorDash, and they removed it the next morning. So, you can deal with it. Dash and Simp, what's up, man? What's up, Dash and Simp? How you doing, man? We're just hanging out. Sam Lee is, I think, on a delivery right now. I'm pretty certain. But I ended up accidentally going off of Flex's temporary lounge. So I started this one up. Was hoping Ricky might come in to finish our conversation, but he never showed up. Nice. So you're out in California then. Nice. That's what Sam and I were talking about, where he's at. I have family out there in Cali. Appreciate you stopping by, man. I'm actually from, I'm from, I guess you would call it the DC suburbs, but I live in West Virginia, but it's in the Eastern Panhandle, about 50 miles outside of DC. So my territory is basically the outer regions of DC, like Hagerstown, Frederick, Maryland, Charlestown, West Virginia, Martinsburg, West Virginia, and then down in the area, I work a little bit beyond Frederick, Maryland area, which I don't normally go into the city or go into Baltimore, but I'm in that outskirts area. So I'm on the absolute opposite end of the world from you, man. It's about 3 in the morning. It's 3:30 in the morning where I'm at. Are you out dashing right now?
Dash and Simp.
Nice.
I've never really been to many places, but like once I'm in a financial good position, I want to do the dashing across America thing.
Yeah, I know that'd be fun. Yeah, I know. That's what I was telling my wife. I said I'd like to do some dashing in other places. Of course, we have kids and stuff, so it's tougher for us to be able to be like, just take a week and go somewhere. But I would love to be able to love to give it a try one weekend or something. Try dash in other places, see what it's like.
I think when you're like that, trying to explore different places, doing just DoorDash is kind of harder. But like if you also do roadie, like I've got to explore a lot more places because I've done roadie, and they pay you for it too.
Well, Spark. You can also take that anywhere too. Just so you know. So I don't know if you're signed up for Spark at all, but you can change your zone all over the country. So if you
can change your zone, but sometimes you're like sometimes.
Oh, gotcha, Dash and Simp. So you didn't make top dash, or was it your acceptance rate or your completion rate, or didn't do? I'm assuming you probably did 100 orders. What was it that held you back this month?
Simp, yeah, I heard Dash and Simp say he had like a 90% acceptance rate. I don't know why he didn't get top dasher.
Oh, gotcha. His completion rate dropped to 93 because his car broke down on the last day of the month. That sucks, man. Yeah, that's a shame. Yeah, because I know Dash Now is definitely nice to have. Of course, as they're rolling out the new tier system, it'll be a totally different world once that hits.
Yeah, there's really not really any reason for me to unassign orders. You know, it's not like they make me wait an hour. Like the worst, like even drive-thrus lately, it has not been that bad. The worst that I've probably had to wait in the drive-thru in the past couple months, probably 20 minutes.
Yeah, I very rarely unassign orders myself, just because to me, like, if I'm accepting the order, then I'm like, you know, I kind of like to think that I'm, that kind of helps me have less times I feel like I want to get rid of an order. But I mean, I have, depending on the situation, there's times I will unassign it, but I think my completion rate right now is 98%. So I try to keep it up there.
Yeah, I think in the past year I've been unassigned probably like 2 orders. Like one time I was on a damn live stream in the damn drive-thru, and I was just so caught up in the conversation I forgot to press arrive at store. But then when I looked, I was like, "Ah, shit, man! I was supposed to press arrive at store 15 minutes ago." So if I were to complete this order, I would have gotten a contract violation for arrived at store late. So I was like, "Yeah, screw it, dude. I don't need this much. I don't need a contract violation for extra like $10 or some shit. I fucking just unassigned it shit." And another time was a restaurant said like, "Oh yeah, the order will be ready in 20 minutes." So then I went next door to eat some lunch, and then I had support called me, and I couldn't hear a word that they damn said because the restaurant, the music was so dang loud. So I couldn't hear a word that support was telling me. So then I just assumed like, oh, support was having a problem with me and the order, so I just unassigned it.
Oh, wow. Well, yeah, I mean, see, those are the cases, so that's why, like, again, those are the rare cases you're unassigning an order, but I agree with you. I mean, to me, it shouldn't be something you're doing all the time. Yeah, I got a contract violation for being too late by 10 minutes, but it wasn't my fault. I hate that. I've gotten them too before. But honestly, though, if you're not getting
that was my damn fault. It was my fault because I was so damn caught up in the live stream, I forgot to press arrive at store.
I've done that before, though. Where I that's why sometimes, yeah, you got to watch when you get distracted when you're dashing. That's hilarious. But yeah. So Dash and Simp, I wouldn't be too worried about the contract violation, though, man, because like they do go away after 100, but as long as you don't get like multiple ones at a time, I've gotten probably like 3 or 4 of them over the time. At one point I had 2, and one of them was a mistake. like it shouldn't have happened. And then the other one, literally, and then the other one was legitimate. But even the support agents were like, the one shouldn't have happened. But it never went away until I ended up doing 100 orders, and then it finally went away. Yeah. But yeah, you just got to be. Unfortunately, that's frustrating when that happens. It can be very frustrating.
I just got like a $3.50 for 1 mile order, but yeah, everybody would be like, "Don't accept that, don't accept it." But I'm like, "Yeah, this is $3.50 right here."
Well, yeah, at night though, I would say you almost have to have a little bit of a different approach. At least in my area, you do. So like, because to me, when you're in my area, the street, there's nobody out, so I could take that $3.50 for 1 mile and make that work. I mean. And here's the thing: there's probably that. Well, at least in my area, it would probably be $1 tip. It would probably be $2.50 base pay and $1 tip is what I would say. Could be $3.50, but I would say more likely than not, it's $1 tip. And then a lot of times, it's a drink or something, you know.
Yeah, sometimes it's like that, but yeah, I heard UDM like yesterday say something like, "Yeah, if you're just here accepting every order, you're missing out on money." But it's like, dude, you just have to focus on yourself. You know, you can't be comparing yourself to other people and be like, "Oh man," because there's always somebody that's making more money than you and doing better than you. You know, so what are you gonna do? Always have that mindset like, "Oh man, I'm missing out because somebody's richer than me. He's getting more girls than me. He got more money than me."
Well, what I think he was talking about, Sam Lee, on that, because he was having a discussion about information that he has that I guess he maybe got from DoorDash or he got from somebody on how the algorithm will allocate. So what he was saying is that apparently what he says is that the DoorDash algorithm puts drivers in queues, and then it's based on on the ratings page, all your ratings will queue you up. So like he was saying that basically, if let's say you get that at the moment that an order generates, it's going to go through a checklist, and then it's going to determine which driver in the queue, which is going to be the top driver in the queue, is going to get to look at that order. Now, unbeknownst to you, there's a second order that's generating. Say there's another order that comes in, and that one's going through. So it's going to show you the order. What he's saying is that instead of like a lot of drivers would believe that it's like, okay, it's going to show you this order and it's going to show the next guy. What he's saying is that there's information out there now that says, no, those orders are being held in the queue until the top driver decides the order he's going to do. So if you take that $3.50 order, unbeknownst to you, he was saying there could be a $7, a $10, or a $15 order sitting behind that order that you didn't even know was sitting there. Now, it's up to you. If you decide to take that order, then that's the order you should take, and that's your money. And he was trying to make the example of saying that the way this queue thing works is apparently that once you decline that order, now that order, like say you decline that $3.50 1 mile order, that would move down to the next person in the queue. And then you would then get the next order in line that you would see. So what he was trying to explain is like, let's say there's 5 drivers in the queue. The orders are not going to go, this driver gets this, and then there's an order that shows up to the next driver and the next driver and the next driver. The top driver is going to see every order, and then it's going to trickle down. Now, if the top driver takes that order, then that driver is no longer the top driver. So now there's 4 drivers there waiting, and the next order in line would go to that driver now. But if the top driver says, no, I'm not interested in that order, it would move down to the next driver. And then the next order that was created behind that one, the top driver in the area is going to see that order, which might be a better one, or it might not be. But he was just saying that you should do a little bit of cherry picking. And he was saying, use your 30%, because if you're taking an order that takes you out of the queue, you might not be there when that big order comes in. Now, like you were saying, though, of course, it's a risk, and he was acknowledging that to the degree that it is a gamble. You're gambling all over the app. So, again, what you're saying is correct too, because if you don't know what's coming next. So you get that 350 order, there might not be an order behind that order. That might be the only order that's in queue. So the other 4 drivers will just sit there and wait. But once an order generates, now what he was also saying, interestingly enough, was, let's say you complete that 350 order and return back to that parking lot. You are now top driver again. So that's why he was saying it can appear sometimes where you see 4 or 5 cars sitting in a parking lot and there's one driver driving all around. It's a slow night. That driver is getting the benefit of being the top driver in its queue. So he's seeing all of the orders and he's not passing on any of them. So in that case, taking every order would actually benefit. And Dash and Simp, yeah, I do multi-app, and I work. I think I'm active on about 13 different apps, but my main apps I work is DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, Spark, Instacart, and Shipt, and then I do Amazon Flex as well. Not a whole bunch of Flex, but I do some Flex. Looks like Sam Lee, you're back. I got a kick from studio. Let's kick that, yes.
Yeah,
and Yup, what's up? What's up, Yup? What's up, Zach? What's that now?
Yeah, I probably, out of everybody in the geek space, I probably get like glitched out the steering the most, because I only use one phone, so I do DoorDash and I got this on and the GPS on at the same time. So yeah, it's me on my phone quite often.
Well, Zach, what UDM was saying is no driver will ever have the same 2 stats, because there will always be a tiebreaker. I mean, I guess there's a potential possibility, but in that instance, there would be some tiebreaker. For instance, let's say you had the same acceptance rate, same completion rate, same on time rate. Then it would come down to who's had the most deliveries, and that would be determined to be the person that's at the top of the queue. At least that's what UDM was saying. And then there could be even off factors or off the chart factors that we're not seeing. Could be average order size that you're taking might come into effect. Your position in the parking lot. I mean, if all ratings are the same, then it could, again, that's what he was saying, was it could be where you're parked. So now, it's very unlikely, though, that you're going to have 2 drivers with the exact same amount of deliveries, the exact same acceptance rate, the exact same completion rate. So most of the time, he was saying it would be determined by a tiebreaker by number of deliveries. So if you have 5,000 deliveries and this driver over here has 550 deliveries, and you've got 2 similar stats, the tie is going to break in the favor of the more experienced driver. Or now it could also be like this. You have the same stats, but one is top dasher and one is not. Well, no, Zach, what I'm saying, the tiebreaker in the instance, you're saying exact same stats. The tiebreaker would then fall onto something like positioning, who's closest to the restaurant, who's parked. That's where it would come into looking at something that wouldn't be on the stat sheet, because what he was saying is there are factors that are on there and not on there, but a majority of what you're being judged by comes off of your rating system. But then you come into the other externalities where you might be parked in one parking spot in this parking spot, and the app is going to have your coordinates. I understand same parking lot, but the same parking lot doesn't mean that if the 2 cars, one car will always be closer to the restaurant in terms of what the app sees. And that would be a determining factor. The other thing could be something like top dasher. One's a top dasher, one's not. there's going to always be some sort of tie-breaking situation. If the stats are all the same, then they're going to find either it might be that you're closer. It might be, they're going to, the system itself is going to find some tie-breaking mechanism to look to see, because remember, the definition is it's supposed to find the driver best suited for that order. So it also could be too, then they look and they say, okay, this driver's average acceptance amount is at X dollars and this one's at X dollars. So we think this order at this amount would be more likely to accept $225 base pay plus $4 than this driver. So it's taking a lot of data points into it, is what he was saying, if it comes down to that. But the chances of it coming down to that are going to be very, 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 very unlikely that you're going to see scenarios where every single, I think at one point, I don't know if they can still do it. Yes, you could be marked as a priority driver for a restaurant. Now, whether I've heard that some people say that's no longer something they can do, and then I've heard that that is still something they can do. But I do know that restaurants at one point could actually mark a driver as a preferred driver. So yes, it could be even that, and that could be something that could break the tie, even if your acceptance rate or whatever, this person's acceptance rate is higher, but you've got priority through your ratings. You've had a 5-star rating with the customer. Like I said, there's a lot of factors that he was saying goes into the algorithm when it's determining what is the best driver for that order. And then it cues him. And I guess what he was saying is there's a series of questions that it asks that it can do faster than any human being could do. And it asks those questions, puts a rating, and then it cues you up. Yeah, the DoorDash guru. I'm just repeating what I heard. I think UDM is the one that was. I'm just kind of repeating what I took from him, and then what I've watched, because I've watched some of the engineering stuff and read some of the materials that they have. Well, I'm not saying. I'm just saying that's what he was saying. I don't know if it's true or not. What I do when I'm out there is, to me, what you've got to do when you're out there is you've got to determine what the order in front of you, is it valuable enough or not for you to take at the given moment. And that is the only thing that matters. Since you don't know what's coming next, if I have a order of value in front of me, I'm not declining it to think, well, maybe there could be something better. No, I'm also not going to take a 325 6-mile order in the middle of dinner thinking, well, if I take that, maybe they'll send me a large order program next. That doesn't make any sense to me either. So I'm going to take the order that goes best. Oh, absolutely. Yup. And in fact, some of the people that work on the DoorDash algorithm have come from the gaming industry. Well, I mean, I think, what's the definition, though, Zach, of a trash driver? I mean, to me, I think most drivers out there would meet the definition of trash driver, because if you're talking trash driver, meaning they don't have experience with understanding what they need to do with what an order is of value to them, because they're not taking the time to try to figure that out, and they're expecting, well, the app will tell me, the app will show me an emoji, or I better just do everything that the app says, when they don't understand that there's no human element to the app. So you are literally you're letting a computer, which factors no humanity into it. It factors nothing but numbers and lots of data points that it's collecting, and then it spits out orders at you. And the only way humanity gets entered into the equation is when you accept or decline or cancel an order. And then you add it in, and then you get to choose from your drop-down list. Although when you're accepting and declining that, or declining an order, now you don't even put in the reason, but you're just accepting or declining, and it's reading from that, okay, there was a problem with this order, and then it's got to figure it out. But I think that we would find a majority of people that are out there driving out here are not at all experienced enough to even make quality decisions, and they're not out here even really worried about that, because to them, in order for you to make a quality decision, you've got to be in a position to have data points that take a lot of time to collect, and then you've got to think to yourself, are you going to move the marker that far? Is it worth your time? Is it worth going out and collecting it? And unless you're just like, for me, I like to do it because to me it's what I have experience with. But the average person that's out here doing this is not going to say, well, you know what? I don't think the payoff is big enough for me to put that kind of time into it, besides collecting what I need to, collect my miles, track my income, be in a position to make my taxes a little bit easier, track some of my expenses. But so that's what the apps kind of take advantage of, and saying, listen, but so the apps take advantage of the idea that they say, hey, listen, follow what we're telling you. We could go on and on, not busting your balls. Let's be real here. Well, be real about what though? I mean, what are we not being real about in the conversation we're having? I mean, I think that you're not going to outsmart the algorithm, which is in terms of trying to figure out what it's going to do. The only thing you can do is know what your bottom line is. Sam Lee is a gambler at heart. He's the guy who puts
on money. I'm not a gambler, dude. I do not gamble at all.
Well, I was going to say he doesn't gamble, because gambling is when you're declining orders and taking a chance that a better order will come. And he says, no, I'll take the order in front of me, make it a profitable order, as profitable as I can, and then move on to the next one. As opposed to saying, because again, it is a form of gambling if you're sitting there, because every time you decline an order, if you're out there working, you now have time to make up. So you are now betting that the next order will make up the time that you're waiting for the next offer to come, and cover the time you're on the order, and still keep you on task and keep you being able to make money quick enough that you can hit your goal in whatever period of time you want. And if you get too far in that hole, you lose, because there does come a point. If you wait an hour for an order and you're trying to make, $50 in 2 hours, and you wait a whole hour, then, now you're looking for $50 to make $50 in the next hour. Could it happen? Of course. But
I think the best example of this is Glitch Dash. Like you'll see him on his live, like before he got deactivated on DoorDash, he'll be on the live stream just doing DoorDash, and then I'll be like, dude, I already been working for like 3 hours and he hasn't accepted a damn single order yet. So meanwhile, even if I accepted all bad orders for 3 hours, I'm gonna make at least like 40, 45, even if I take nothing but just shitty offers. Yep. At least I made 45, but then he was just sitting there 3 hours straight, just watching a bunch of people on YouTube and making no money.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, I hear you. I hear you, especially if you're working at night. Like, night's a different scenario, because you're not going to have a tremendous, unless it's a weekend night, but you're still not going to have enough order volume to really be able to get as selective as you might want to. And you're going to have to be a little more willing to get out there and monetize your time. I mean, yes, that's the point. That's what I'm saying. That was what I was trying to say. Yeah, there has to be kind of a balance between earning your base, and then putting yourself in the position to take advantage of things like the pizza program, the large order program, some shopping pays if you're willing to do those, where you can get the bigger payouts that can help boost you up over the line. All right, let's see here. Absolutely, Dash and sent me. Yeah, sounds good, man. Check in. I might be live. I don't know. Depends on the market. Busy market can afford to gamble. My goal is 30 an hour. Not having. Now I agree with you, Zach. That's what I like to try to make too. I'm 30 an hour, 30 an hour as well, and it's exactly correct. You whether it's busy or not, and whether you are having a good flow of orders or not, definitely makes a huge difference. And I think that's something that gets lost on some of the drivers out there, where they're gambling maybe a little too much during the slow times, and then they end up with nothing. And then that definitely can affect your overall. But that's why I multi-app as well. So that's one of the reasons why for me in the middle of the afternoon, I'm not focusing on food delivery. I'm focusing on other things like Spark. I'll do a flex shift if one comes available at a decent rate. I'll do some shipped. I'll do some roadie if something comes up. Although, like I told you, Sam Lee, I've only done a few of those. But I'm looking for other things during that middle time when food delivery and stuff is not as busy. Now I'll have the food delivery apps on in the background, so if something comes in, I'm still attacking it.
Yeah, I think I work differently from everyone else. But me accepting every order on DoorDash, that's just DoorDash. I will not accept every order on these other apps,
Right. Well, you still get Prop 22 money on those other apps there, right?
Yeah, but dude, I'm not going to accept something 50 miles away. I'm not going to go say, hey, I want to work over. Like, I'm not going to take that order 50 miles away and drive 50 miles to the pickup location,
Yeah, but aren't they giving you like 30 cents a mile under Prop 22 or something?
Yeah, but I'm still not going to do that. I don't want to drive 50 miles to pick up a 1 mile order.
Gotcha. No, oh yeah, because you wouldn't even be being paid, would you, Prop 22 yet? Because on something like roadie, when does Prop 22 kick in? Does it kick in when you arrive at the store?
They do pay you the Prop 22, but still, it's not really worth it. You're going to driving all them damn miles and shit. But the thing with DoorDash, the miles is not that much. Like, dude, you might get one 10-mile order. Maybe once every 20 orders, you get a 15-mile order.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, Prop 22 is definitely a different animal, as Zach was saying. And then 2 DoorDash for 25, 1 Uber for 10 to 20, 3 an hour minimum. Yep, exactly. But yeah, Prop 22 definitely, I think it requires you to approach it with a different strategy and a different mindset for sure. I mean, again, I've never been in a Prop 22 state or worked in one. Well, obviously, I think California is the only one with it, but it would be interesting, I think. Definitely an interesting experience. Now, Sam Lee, you're large order program, right?
Yeah, I'm different from all these other large order programs too, because I never had to call DoorDash and beg them to be on the program, and they just sent me an email. Dude, the first couple of emails, I'm like, what the hell is this? Whatever. Shit, they trying to make me buy a catering bag? So I ignored the first couple of emails, and they kept sending me emails, and I'm like, okay, let me read this. They say, increase your earnings. Let me read this. So I read it, and then it was like, oh, shit, just buy this bag, and you can get these.
Well, see, that's what happened to me was I got an email to buy the bag. I bought the bag and was like, okay, I'll buy the bag. Why not? I was actually, because I will certain times of the year, a couple times in the year, I'll buy bags and stuff just to get the, it's a good time to apply it towards your taxes and all that stuff. So that way I can get my equipment re-up. So I thought, you know what, it's time to buy a catering bag. I need to buy bigger bags. It'd be nice to have. So I bought the catering bag, and then I had just done my acceptance rate reset, and DoorDash was screwing me around with my acceptance rate. So I turned around and was on the phone with them talking about that issue. And I'd been on the phone for a while, and the bag got delivered. And I said, hey, while I'm on the phone with you, I just got this bag delivered. I think I got an email that says I needed to send a picture in or something. Can you help me with that? And the person was like, yeah, I'll help you with it. And they sent me a link while I was on the phone. I took a picture, And then literally 2 hours later, I get the email that says, welcome to the large order program. And I had no idea that was something that was so unique, because then after that, I started paying attention more and started hearing how hard of a time people had to get in. And I'm like, I just walked in. They sent me an email, I bought the bag, and I'm on the phone, and I had no problems whatsoever.
I think it's all like a mindset thing. Like DoorDash can kind of predict what kind of driver you are. Like the people that's calling and begging to be on large order program, they're all cherry pickers. They all have nothing good to say about DoorDash, and they're all cherry pickers, and they're all like, dude, who cares about DoorDash? Dude, if you die tomorrow, they wouldn't care about you. And all this shit. They're like, why do you care about DoorDash so much? They can deactivate. It's all these type of people, cherry pickers and people that got nothing good to say about DoorDash. There are all those people that's begging DoorDash, please let me be on large order program. Every single day they're like, oh yeah, I can't be on large order program this week. Let me try again tomorrow. It's all those people, and all the people that I know that's got on large order program easy, all super high acceptance rate, top dashers and all that shit.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, when I got into it, at that time I had a 71% acceptance rate, but DoorDash was saying I had 69, and we were fighting about it, and they had denied me top dasher, and I was like, why? We're trying to figure it all out, and at that time I had dashed some more, so my acceptance rate wasn't what it had been on the last day of the night or last night of the month. So I spent a couple hours on the phone with it, but yeah, my AR was high at the time, and they walked me right through the door. But like I said, now mine fluctuates, and like I said, I'm a multi-apper, so I have no problems taking it down to 20% if I have to, if I need to, just like I said, I'm going to do what I'm going to take the value in front of me. LOP will be gone soon anyway with tier program. 90 AR will be the minimum. Well, I'm pretty certain it won't be 90 AR. It's 70 AR, and then it's 90% completion rate for gold and 95% completion rate so it's the same. The AR will always still be 70, but the difference will be it'll be a rolling 70. As opposed, in terms of it won't be about freezing it at the end of the month to get you to dash now or the LOP. And I think what UDM was referencing in his live yesterday when he was talking about the driver queues and all that stuff is more in line with the new tier zones that drivers are going to find themselves in these queues. You're going to have a gold queue, a platinum queue, where you're going to see orders where the LOP orders will be. Well, I was going to say, I have the, hold on a second. I have the paperwork for that, and it says platinum tier. Do you have the paperwork for it? Because I have the paperwork for it. Let's see here. Where do I have it? There, I go to my files. Let's see if I can share it up here. Hold on a second here. All right, let's see here. I'll find it on here. Whoops. There's tier program. It is DoorDash rewards. All right, let's go to StreamYard. I'm going to present. Share screen. Share screen. There we go. All right, so here we go. All right, so you see that right there. This is straight up from DoorDash, and you can see there, just so everybody knows, Platinum is where you will get the large order program. So the acceptance rate is 70%, completion rate is 95%, customer rating is 4.7, deliveries in the last rolling 30 days. You have to have 100 deliveries in the last 30 days. So it will be a rolling 100 for the deliveries. And you will have to have at least 50 or more lifetime deliveries. So if you have less than 50 lifetime deliveries, then I think everybody starts out at Platinum, or might be Gold. I don't know. I guess they're saying it. They're giving you the time. But priority access to high paying orders, VIP support. So here is where it will talk to you about Platinum, or what rewards do you get. VIP support access to large orders is part of Platinum. So hopefully this clears that up, because if you go and Google the DoorDash tier program, you can download the paperwork for it. So this is straight up what everybody's getting when they get into it. And but no, 90% is completion rate, and it gets you 50% for silver is 50%, 90%, 4.5 customer rating. And then there's no delivery requirement for the last 30 days. It is 50 plus. Gold is 70, 90, 4.5. No delivery requirement in the last 30 days, and 50 plus lifetime. And then Platinum, you got to have the 95% completion rate, 4.7 customer rating, and 100 deliveries in the last 30 days. And then you get access to the large order program. So, and then there you can see the different perks right here, or scroll back down to that. As you can see what silver, gold, and platinum get you. In advanced scheduling, no access to LLP if you're not platinum. That's correct. That's correct. A large order program is only access to large order program. You get the priority access to high paying orders. And you get the increased priority and top priority. This is what UDM was talking about, that you're going to be in different, you're going to be in a queue where you're going to have access to this different stuff based on where you're at and based on what your ratings are. So you have top priority, and that's what he was trying to show off. But this is the official scale as of right now. This is the document that everybody gets. If you go, you can Google it, and it's telling you right here. You can also see the Dasher reward where it's active: Lubbock, Grand Rapids, Corpus Christi, Raleigh, Allentown, Lancaster, Chattanooga, Lawton, looks like Salem, Dover, Mankato, and East Bay. Let's see here. It's also Greenville, Lima, Miami, which is where UDM's at. So, but this is the scale here, and then that's what the screen looks like. That's what you're going to see there with all the different things there. But for me, like I said, I mean, it's going to become more like Grubhub, I think, essentially. But it's essentially you're going to have to maintain top Dasher ratings, which I think Bentley Coop told us that this was coming probably about a year ago. He said that he had had conversations with DoorDash and said, if you want to get people to take more orders, then you've got to make Dash now. You've got to make these things contingent upon maintaining your ratings. Yeah, yes, I am screen sharing from the DoorDash. This is from the DoorDash website. I went on to the DoorDash website. That is where I'm screen sharing from. Yep. Because I couldn't get to, it's on my iPad, so I had to go to the website. So I just went in and Googled it. If you Google DoorDash tier program, it'll take you to the website and it'll take you to this document. So I'm not sure what you saw, or maybe that was something that was earlier or something that was older, but this is the most, let me see if I can see a date on it. You can see right there that I'm on the website. There it is, how to become a Dasher support. See if there's a date on the bottom of it. Probably not, because it's coming from the website. Was this article helpful? You can see right there. No. That's not what's here, but check it out. That's why I wanted to, you may have seen something that was blended together with it, because there is a 95% completion rate, but, I know there was a lot of stuff floating around. They're going to give you the opportunity to reset your completion rate, as you can see there. And of course, but again, it's going to be a challenge, to maintain this stuff. Oh, it's hard. Well, listen, the thing is that I think people are going to still see large order programs, because you're not going to see a whole bunch of people that are going to be able to maintain the 100. Like there's going to be, again, remember, to believe them, you've got to maintain a 100 order rolling, right? So what they're basically saying is, essentially, is if we were to believe them, then you're going to see people that are not going to have access to the large order program at all if they haven't done at least 100 orders in the last month. So if nobody's on the road, and that's possible, it's possible you could have a situation like that. Are they just going to not have the large order programs delivered? No, they're going to give them to somebody. So it's just going to give people access to the large order program if they have these stats, they can get out there. It certainly will make it maybe a little easier for people to get large orders if you have higher stats. We'll see. I don't know. I don't wish this to come any sooner than it does. I'm pretty certain. Let's see here. Does it? It says access to large orders. Get more high value orders when you have a catering bag. So again, I have no idea, what we should expect in this instance, because it doesn't say you can't get a large order. It just says you're going to be getting prioritized. So read into that what you will. Again, for me, I'm still going to work on the value in front of me on my screen. But it's nice to know that other people can have access to a large order if they want to get it. That's definitely nice. So, well, guys, it's 4 a.m. I think I'm going to wrap up this lounge 2.0. I appreciate everybody in there. Zach, appreciate you stopping by. I think we still have 4 people in there, but I am going to, I think, call this here, go get some sleep, get some rest. I've got to be up around 9 a.m., so I'm going to be operating on 5 hours of sleep tomorrow. So, but wanted to come out, do some chatting. I was in the other lounge and accidentally kicked myself out. So anyways, I might go live tomorrow. I don't know. Check out on Necro's channel. He is hosting a backup lounge for those of you that are interested. That if you don't know, now you know. Check it out. He'll be putting it up tomorrow, same time Flex normally put his up. And guys, good night. Thanks for stopping by. And I'll hopefully talk to you soon. Gotcha. Still don't buy it. Well, man, listen, like I said, check it out. It's on the website. But hey, man, I understand your skepticism, though. I do understand that. And I would say, listen, be skeptical. Be skeptical. take the best value order that's on your screen, and then worry about the next one when you need to. L. Brittenham, have a good night as well. Yup. Stay awake. Yeah, no. All right, guys. I'm going to try to listen to my voice and fall asleep. Yeah, you're funny. Yeah, you're funny. Well, man, listen, I'll tell you what you can do. This thing's last like an hour and 31. So go ahead and you can put this on replay, and I'm going to put it up and make it public, and you can get me some watch time. Or feel free, of course, to go on to any other video on my channel and help me out with watch time. I need to get to that 4,000 watch time. Like guided meditation. Absolutely. Just envision that next order, right? It's going to come to your phone. But all right, guys. Well, thanks for hanging out. I will hopefully we'll hang out again soon. Talk to you guys later.